Peace, world, peace. Yes. We're just giving it a few minutes. Hi, Sherelle Mason. Welcome. Can you see the comments, Kim?
No.
No laptop today, huh?
Nope.
Okay. So we're going to let a couple people come in. I did send out, I'm waiting on a couple people. They may show up a little later, but I have somebody in Texas who may be calling in too.
Okay.
But yeah, for whoever's here, chat, replay, bushes, welcome or welcome back. Peace. I'm Goddess Dawn. And yeah, we're back live. I'm excited to be here. I have Kim the Warrior here. Miss Kim, yes.
Yes.
Got her Cash App up and ready.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes, definitely. You know, I want to send prayers and good positive light energy to Texas. You know, everyone displaced and suffering due to the storm, the power outages that were a result, as well as people being out of food, water, and resources. Let's lift everybody up who's suffering while we're at it.
Yeah.
Let's just take a moment to close our eyes collectively and take a deep breath or two. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. A little deeper with each breath. And as you're taking those breaths, just see that inner light within that we all have pour out into the world. Yeah, and just imagine it touching everyone in need, any and everyone, no matter where they are. Whoever needs this love and this light, you're welcome to it. Yes. Hey, Miss Della, Donna, welcome back. Yes. All right. So Miss Kim is here. Yes. How you doing, Miss Kim?
I'm good, and you? How's everybody?
I'm doing well. Yeah, hopefully everybody's doing well. Miss Della, I hope you're feeling better.
Yes.
We lifted you up last live.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really just titled this one, Dear Texas. I really hadn't been invested in much other news these past couple of days. There's a lot of people who are, suffering right now. A lot of people who need help.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of information that came out during a couple of different videos, and also I finally got my invite to Clubhouse. Yes, after like 2 months. Yeah, and the person that actually gave me that invite, shout out to you, even though you're a piece of shit. I appreciate you sending me that invite link. You know who you are. But yeah,
Right.
so you have to get invited to Clubhouse in order to join, no matter if you download the app or what. So I finally got my invite. I messed around with it a little bit yesterday, and I really kind of got the hang of it pretty easily. It's a good app. It's kind of like just being on a podcast, but you have people live interacting. Um, so far, the groups that I've found are very highbrow and very interesting. I have a ton of notes just from actually today. I found a group where I actually became a speaker, and I was able to talk about a lot of the things that I do teach, like on the Shot of Love, about meditation, manifestation, just how your thoughts, emotions, intentions set your reality. So I was able to, from that, get some new followers. So if any of y'all are on Clubhouse, follow me at Goddess Dawn. And I'm going to be probably, I want to actually stream a little bit of, there's a forum, a room, they call it a room, titled titled Pfizer versus Moderna, and they're talking about the real pros and cons of the vaccine. There's about 30 people on the stage, and the stage are the people who are invited to speak. You can't be invited to speak if you're in the audience. You just have to hit this feature called a hand raise, or someone may just randomly invite you to speak. That just happened to me just now, actually. I was in this other group about dreams, and I was just listening, and I kept getting invitations to speak. I was like, maybe I should do it while I'm live.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready for all that. But yeah, but this panel has about 30 doctors. Well, not all doctors, there's about 30 people on the stage. And there's, out of those 30, maybe 15, if not 20 doctors and Black doctors. It's a good diverse mix of people. Amber Rose joined the speaker stage also. She kind of jumped in and started speaking pretty freely about the vaccine stuff. So I guess that's something she's studying or into or whatever. While I'm attaching a couple pictures of some things I want to talk about, I want to let's just eavesdrop a little bit on one of these rooms. This is the one I just spoke on, the Pfizer versus Moderna, the pros and cons. Just let's a little bit. Let me turn it up. Let's see.
So we decided to create this room to help ease those concerns for a lot of the people in the audience. We appreciate the medical experts here sharing the wealth.
Can you hear that? Okay.
Their vast knowledge in this topic. We want to keep it very respectful and just keep bouncing around the room with, as Hisham had mentioned, no more than a minute when people speak, so that people do have an opportunity to speak. I've been getting tons of DMs from the people in the audience, and I would like to at least get through a handful of them. I wouldn't be able to get through all of them because they're kind of overwhelming, but I am going through them, and I would like to pose some of the questions. In the meantime, a lot of these medical experts are here because they want to help. They want to share the wealth and information to make people feel better. So as a token of your appreciation for their time, please follow these medical experts. Really follow everybody on the stage, especially the moderator, as they do enhance your Clubhouse experience. Included in many of the rooms here on Clubhouse, as so am I. I create these forums really to help people and make people happy while in quarantine and on this app. So I'm going to continue to do so. I do have a bunch of questions, so I'm just going to pose one right now, unless somebody thinks otherwise and wants to finish their statement.
Yeah, I just want to address what Miss Billboard had said, that, I agree. I think we have to consider the opposite, and we have to, think about natural remedies that might be helpful. And I think with time, we are learning more about natural medications like curcumin, and we are telling our patients, hey, this study has found anti-inflammatories, or we are studying these foods and their properties, the more we are recommending it to our patients. However, it's important to note that Dr. Don actually read the paper, and every time we read scientific papers of, whether it's a new drug coming out or comparing, RCTs and two patients, we always criticize how the study was done. And so what did it involve? What did the patients were given? What the age of the patients were? What their comorbidities were? And we are always taught to criticize the paper to see if it's a strong paper with good evidence or if we think otherwise. And so what Dr. Don did was exactly that. Director X, she read the paper and mentioned exactly, why that wasn't the best RCT because of those reasons. And so it's important to note that we are taught to read clinical,
I understand that, but I can also critique that in suggesting that the results they have with, shall we read the results here? In moderate cases, 96% of moderate cases, patients managed to resume daily activities by day 10 compared to 69% in the control group. In the severe cases, honey and black seed oil cases were discharged by day 10, while control cases were observed to still be hospitalized, requiring oxygen therapy. That's significant. If you're telling me that's placebo because they can taste the sweetness in the water, stop this.
I know. Can I respond to that actually?
Real quick, Dr. Isis, hold on.
The doctors are getting spicy.
What Director X is saying is that if you're going to criticize one thing, why not be
as critical to the vaccine?
You see, so because you have to think about it like this.
I agree.
You have to be so defensive to a point like, what am I injecting my elders with? What am I injecting my children with?
Exactly.
These are my patients. So we have to look at history and we have to understand exactly what's going on the planet, and we have to be hypercritical of everything that's getting.
Do you know the side effects of black seed oil?
I do not prescribe medicine. So I want to be clear when I say this, and I understand his argument, and I wholeheartedly believe in the study. But what I'm saying is when you have your back against the wall and you're on a platform like this telling people that they're going to go to Kroger, CVS, wherever, and they're going to buy some over-the-counter honey and black seed and think that that's going to do the job.
Well, so listen, praise the Lord when CVS sell black seed.
But what I'm saying is they're going to do improper measures to try to get to what you're saying.
And that's better than nothing. That's better than nothing. I'd rather they go and get the most basic honey.
Y'all, this is getting
really quickly.
This is getting a little bit spicy.
Can we let her speak really quick, and then the person that I think Zai.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to mention that when just in response to the placebo effect, I think anyone will tell you that anyone who speaks of, like, is patient facing will say to you that the placebo effect is absolutely real. You just have to look at any paper where there's irritable bowel syndrome treatment reporting, and you'll see that the placebo effect absolutely can be very powerful. And you can absolutely have mind over, your mind can tell you that you feel better, and you perceive you to feel better because you said so. So I just want to say that yes, the placebo effect is real.
But are you suggesting this is a placebo effect? Are you suggesting these results are placebo?
I'm saying that I don't know. I can't say either way because it's not an RCT, a true RCT. Just as the authors themselves stated in their own paper.
Okay, if these are placebo, then we should be doing placebo.
I just have a quick question because I also take black seed oil daily. It's helped me with plenty of things, as far as skin and healing within my body. But my main concern is what Dr. X is saying is that this is supposed to work. So if I'm going to be
not Dr. X. Okay, let me be clear. We do not know for prevention. We do not. I'm sorry. I don't want to confuse this. We don't know if it prevents. There's no studies about prevention. This study is only about moderate to severe cases. There's people who say maybe. There's a big maybe on prevention. We do not know. I have a friend who takes it. He says he's been good around people with COVID. I have a friend who takes tons of shit. He said he got rocked by COVID. So I do not want to confuse our conversation. Okay,
yeah, that's just my question is is this going to help prevent me from getting COVID? Because I do take herbs daily. I'm definitely on that. But
I hope so. But two of my friends here.
If I decide to use my black seed oil every day, how long do I have to take that? Is that something that I have to take for the rest of my life to not get COVID? Versus
we don't know if it blocks it. We gotta come back.
I'm gonna reset. I'm gonna reset the room. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna reset the room. Just I want to say one thing. Then we're gonna have Meta talk, and then rundown. We're gonna have you ask some questions. Just the one thing I say, that most of us on the stage are Western trained allopathic doctors.
Dr. Dawn is a naturopathic doctor.
I see JC made it in here.
Like, that's her point of expertise. I don't have expertise in natural remedies, but she is someone who's trained in natural remedies and herbal medicine and things of that nature. So, again, when she speaks, like, I tend to listen to her with authority on these things because that's not something that I was trained in. So, I just think that when it comes to natural medicines and things of that nature, we should yield to her as an authority on this because I think that she's a big proponent of those types of medicines and that type of medicine.
What I'm showing on the screen is are the pictures of the speakers that are on the stage. We're listening to Clubhouse. If you're just now joining us, it's a room talking about Moderna versus Pfizer. I'm showing some of the doctors and the different panelists that are speaking. Amber Rose is in here. If you see her right here. I don't know what her expertise is. And then there's these other doctors, a lot of Black doctors, actually.
I see. Shout out to the African doctors.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I just want to listen to a little more what they're talking about. And it comes into what I want to talk to about what's going on in Texas also. So hang in there with us. If this is for highbrow people, this is just not for everybody.
Right.
We take smallpox. So when people ask, why do I have to take the vaccine? What we are trying to get towards is herd immunity. Smallpox arrived in the U.S. in 1633, and there were waves of epidemics. As you guys probably know, smallpox disseminated the indigenous community here. And so, lo and behold, how did a vaccine for smallpox emerge? Well, an enslaved African named Onesimus, he was administering a vaccine or a process of vaccine. I don't know the technical term, but basically the process of administering vaccines, of course, not through like inoculation, but through a scratch and then exposing your body to, what would you call that? Like a part of the virus. There's an interesting sort of history around it. So anyways, Cotton Mather, not a great guy, but he was observing this happening. And so that was the process that led to the smallpox vaccine that was abundantly available in 1796. And so think about the fact that more than 100 years, they were dealing with rolling epidemics. And so what I've heard it said best is, if we imagine that we have a population, of course, I don't want to push people. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not somebody to take medical advice from, but I'm understanding this through a historical zoom. If we say, well, your immune system is strong enough to fight it off. Of course, this is not technical language I'm using. And you build up your immune system, you should be fine. You're also a host, by the way. You're walking around and you could carry something that is mild and you could give it to somebody else and you could give it to plenty of folks. And so the idea of herd immunity, I heard it said best like this: without a vaccine is mass murder. And we saw this happen on this continent. So I just want to give people that historical context so that we understand that vaccines also emerged from Africa and in those communities.
Hey, doctor.
So you trying to sell us the vaccine by telling us it came from your people in the first place? That's really what she's saying.
Yeah, because we got a cure for everything over there, and they try to take credit for it.
Of course, until they want us to do what they want.
Inside a lot of the vaccines that are administered to people.
This dude got a soft voice. Speak up.
Comparison. Respectfully. Dr. Mathis, so for the people in the audience, good to see you again. But, respectfully, for the people in the audience, the vaccine that you speak of and the time that it was created and the ingredients in it is wildly different, completely different process of producing it, doing the research and understanding on how to produce it, how to integrate it with more organic elements versus what we have today. To Brother Omar's point, it is, though you speaking of the history, you've left off the fact that it's an entirely different mechanism completely, which that is the issue that most people have. And to Billboard and to Brother Director X and other people's concern, we have, I ask that you give some grace and some peace, understanding that the doctors, medical doctors, if they are or are not medical scientists, which are researchers, which I might be incorrect, but most of these doctors are not researchers. They have a responsibility to the medical community and not to the people to say certain things. So when you're acquiring them or asking them to give a certain perspective, it's you have to understand who they work for. I'm not sure, they may not be private practitioners, which means they have an allegiance to an organization that's not designed for you. So we need to not bombard them with questions that they really can't answer truthfully. Secondly, we have to understand that there's just certain information that we can acquire on our own, and we just have to make our own decisions. Their responsibility is to work on the behalf of what their job is. Is not their moral obligation is not to us.
I just want to address
just
that.
really-
Can I address that really quickly?
Yeah.
I'd like to address that as well.
Dr. Nicole and then Lena.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Thank you. This
I
is
was
Dr.
about to stop
Nicole.
this, but hold on.
Independent. I'm a pediatrician. I have my own company. I work for myself. I actually don't do clinical medicine right now. Because of the healthcare system, I chose to become a health advocate. That's a whole nother long story. You can check out my website. But I do want to say that with all due respect, the doctors, whether we work for a hospital, whether we work for our own private practice, whether we're in a group practice, what we're doing right now is volunteer work. We're not being paid for this. No doctor has an obligation to promote the vaccine. Our jobs don't give us.
She's like, don't put us in that type of
to educate and
jacket.
empower and talk about the vaccine.
Right.
I don't want anyone in this room
She
to
sounds
think
black.
that any doctor or researcher on this stage is in any way benefiting financially from the time that we spend. Now, we may have different opinions, and I respect that. I fully respect.
I don't really think she can speak for everybody, though, to be honest, because she doesn't know everybody and she doesn't know everyone's agenda. Just to say,
My time is 12:24 in the morning, and I've been in this room, which I appreciate. I appreciate you starting this room rundown, but I've been in this room for over 2.5 hours, and the room was already going when I got here. So we are investing a lot of our own personal time, and it is not for financial gain. It is not for notoriety. It is literally out of our obligation from the oath that we took to do no harm. So,
You love what you do, man. We feel you, man. We love y'all.
We may disagree, but I just want to put that out there. Not a single doctor or researcher on this stage has an agenda. They're not being paid to do this.
We love y'all too. Come on.
Lena
Thank you so much.
Lena is next. Sorry, we're gonna have Lena talk.
So I'm not allowed to respond. I'm not allowed to respond.
Yeah, no.
he's like, I'm not allowed to respond. I'm not allowed.
Respectfully, I can't respond.
I know, JC. I get it.
People been arguing back and forth.
It's because the guy just before her said that you can't believe everybody because you don't know who they're working for, and she had to come back and counter that and clear her name basically and all her colleagues.
Exactly.
I feel you, bro. And I'm with you.
That's okay. This is MJ, by the way. I had posed a question that was a very important question in my opinion, and I think
Am I not responding?
Sure, Sean, go ahead.
Go ahead, for sure.
Dr. Nicole, I didn't imply that you were being paid or had some ulterior motive, or any doctor here. I stated clearly that that most doctors, especially medical doctors that work in a hospital, that's their job, that's your responsibility. Suggest certain medicines, specifically vaccines, based on what you're required to do. And if anyone, and I mean any doctor here is saying that you're not told to not only provide, but to highly strongly suggest to your patients to take certain vaccines, and also specifically COVID. I and any other intelligent person that understands the system, just even a little bit, just won't buy that. And I'm not saying you're bad people. I'm not saying that you hate people. I'm saying based on your bias, which is you believe in the medical system, hence why that's your job.
No.
So you have a bias, and understanding what the process of the medical system has been for the last little over 100 years.
Hey, Fashawn, this is Doc JB3. I'm a black man in medicine. I talked about this yesterday. I know X and I had a conversation yesterday, and I enjoyed the conversation with him. And
You're
Omar.
a good brother, bro. I like you, man.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. But let me just say this real quick. I'm a black man in medicine, right? There are not a lot of me. Every single day I go to work, there's not a single person in my department who looks like me. By no means am I doing something because of what I'm doing this because of what, my department wants me to do, what my hospital wants me to do, what Fauci wants me to do. You know why I'm doing this? You know why I did this yesterday? I told you guys, I was on call 24 hours yesterday. I could have been called back in the hospital to run cases, but I stayed up with you guys until about 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning because I cared that much about making sure that we don't have more Black and brown folks dying. I told you what's happening in the state of California and Los Angeles. Our communities are getting vaccines. They're not necessarily getting them in an equitable fashion. There's some studies or some data that came out that said that the richer communities, the richer cities are getting more vaccines just the same way it's happening across the country. But my dad works over at Drew. He's not a doctor, but he works over at Drew. I told you guys about this. What's happening there is you're seeing our majority colleagues, the whites, Asians, and others, getting the vaccines that are for us, right? Because we have our hesitations, reservations, which is rooted in systemic racism. The stuff we're talking about right now is not 100 years. This is 400 years, right? Mm-hmm. From the jump, we have been mistreated by the healthcare system. I talk about this stuff on the regular, right? It's one thing to know the past, but we also have to understand where we are right now, right today, right? When we talk about the studies and everything, I can't tell you what's in every single vaccine. I can't tell you what's in Coca-Cola. I can't tell you what's in a lot of things that we have, right?
Dr. John, can you lawfully tell people that you
Let me just finish real quick.
You're bombarding us with a story.
No, I'm just trying to finish this statement because it's important. Right? I don't want to see us succumb to this virus any more than we have. Not only are we dying at higher rates than everyone else, it's not that the virus has a bias to Black and brown folks, right? We're not getting the vaccines in an equitable fashion, which is also a problem, right? It's going to lead to more deaths. It's okay to ask questions, as I mentioned yesterday. I told Exis, I told all this.
That's a statement you can't truly make.
I can make that statement because we have the data that we're dying.
Proof.
You don't have I don't have proof that we're dying.
Like, why?
I mean, I'm just trying to tell you, look, I have no bias here. I have no allegiance to I'm just trying to tell you.
Wait.
Let me, I'm almost done.
One question.
Wow. This is going left. And these are professionals, like medical professionals. This actually just makes the point that this is a hot topic. People are very much on one side and then on the other with it. You know, I haven't talked to a lot of people who are in the middle. There's usually you're either for it or against it. Yeah. And listening to this forum, again, this is Clubhouse. In case anybody is coming in late, there's a room that was started in Clubhouse about the Pfizer versus Moderna vaccine. A lot of the panel, the speaker panels are doctors weighing in. And so basically this argument that just happened is, it sounds like a non-doctor, a layperson, kind of going back and forth with these doctors because they're defending their ethics and they don't want to be looked at as if they're, just doing PR for the government.
Yeah.
Woo, child.
I agree with him. He's telling the truth about the medical. It's been over 400 years. It's all in this book. I don't know if I mentioned that book to you guys. It's called Medical Apartheid. It's a female author. It came out, I think, in 2007 or 8. Y'all read that, and then it opened your eyes in a whole different way.
What is it called?
American Apartheid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a medical book. It talks about our history with our culture and also the medical field, and also universities. Most universities, when they do what do they call it? Anatomy and biology and stuff. And they will go to the funeral homes and they will dig up just all Black American cadavers. They use our Black people as cadavers.
Really?
Like at Yale, Harvard, whatever, those universities. I think it was George Washington. That wife had the syphilis. He purposely injected her with the syphilis. He did medical experiments on his plantation to the slaves because he wanted to see could Black people endure pain and medical procedures versus what they could tolerate more than a Caucasian woman or race. And he purposely had the antidote. He went to Africa and got it, the cure for syphilis. And he never gave it to his wife. He cured some of his female slaves that he had babies by. But he did a lot of pap smears and stuff, all those medical instruments. Yeah. He teamed up with another doctor from Europe. And they did all kind of torture and medical experience with women.
Well, there's definitely been a lot of treachery in the medical field, but at the same time, I guess with
Yeah,
anything, you got to kind of weigh it out. JC is saying actually people donate their bodies to science, at least these days.
yeah.
Donna Hill said, "This is the most I've heard healthcare officials discussing such issue." She said they get outside the hospital and attack one another. You guys, were you guys interested in that conversation? Because it's still going. I mean, I'm happy to continue to play it. Just put a one in the chat if it's something that you think is interesting. There's other rooms going too that I thought was interesting. One of them is about dreams, but let me know what you guys think. I can continue to play it. I just have the volume down right now, and I don't know
And
how much longer it's going to go.
it's medical apartheid. Is it medical apartheid? I believe is the correct name. Yeah,
Of the book.
yeah. It's a great
Medical.
book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys. Okay, she said she was enjoying it, and Sherelle said yes. All right.
Well,
Let's
thank you,
turn it up.
everybody.
Right. Let's turn it up and see what's going on. I had stopped it because of all that arguing. I don't know how that comes across to you guys in the on YouTube, but
The one thing I want to add is that in addition to cancer patients, there are a lot of other patients who are on immune suppressing drug, including a lot of patients with inflammatory bowel disease that we take care of. And the recommendation is the same, that they should still be getting the vaccine, even though they're on these medications.
Can I ask something and maybe just kind of go over something that was stated earlier? Can I do that? It's MJ.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead, MJ.
All right. So I hope you guys don't take this as though I'm coming at you, but I do want to kind of make sense of this a little bit because, again, my reservations are exactly as that of, Fashawn or Omar, and I do have concerns. I'm not opposed to medicine, but I am opposed to not having enough information, of course. Now, I read an article that was issued in 2013 or 2014 by Donald W. Light, in the special issue, the Journal of Law, Medicine, and Ethics. And in that article, there was something that really stood out to me, and it made me kind of feel slightly uncomfortable because I'd asked the question, what were the ingredients investigated prior to, and these doctors are issuing or administering these vaccines, but do they know what they're administering? I was told that, of course, the FDA has to approve it, and they go through this rigorous testing and chemists and so on and so forth. However, with the information that I'm getting here through the FDA, so what I'm reading is 53,000 every week, about 53,000 excess hospitalizations and about 2,400 excess deaths occur in the United States among people taking properly prescribed drugs to be healthier, of course. 1 in every 5 drugs approved ends up causing serious harm. 1 in 10 provides substantial benefits compared to existing established drugs. Now, I find that to be problematic. So I'm just trying to understand what it is that we're administering and how safe is this drug.
What study was that? What article?
This is the article written by Donald Wright, I believe. Let me just pull it up quickly and I can post it. It was issued in the Journal of Law, Medicine, and Ethics in 2013. So Donald W. Light on ethics.harvard.edu.
And what was the title?
It is Risky Drugs, Why the FDA Cannot Be Trusted.
Risky Drugs, Why the FDA Cannot Be Trusted.
there it is.
Got it. Center for Ethics, Edmund J. Safra.
Thank you, MJ.
No problem.
Yeah, MJ, thank you. And could you ask your question again? I think most people are probably looking at that article, but what was your exact question? Was it if know exactly what we're...
Yeah, if physicians are recommending this vaccine, but don't actually have the know-how, or not the know-how rather, but the knowledge on exactly what it is they're administering, how can one feel safe?
Anybody?
For the love of money.
Hold on, wait. What the question is? If sorry.
So I had asked initially a question, which is, know what's in this drug, and I was told, well, the FDA goes through a rigorous, but what I'm saying is the FDA cannot be trusted. So how are we trusting this vaccine as though it is something that, we're taking this thing. We need to know what it is we're ingesting, what it is we're taking, what it is that we're being shot up with. But if physicians who are in a place of, or in a position to do this, I feel like it is your responsibility to know and to be sure of what it is you're administering.
So I think that every country has a different regulatory body that approves different types of drugs. FDA is I would say a political organization that approves different drugs based on who the commissioner is and so on and so forth, right? And I will say that, like, it's not as if every doctor or scientist here on this stage is like a shill for the pharmaceutical lobby. I think we all have serious qualms with a lot of how the pharmaceutical industry operates, especially as doctors. We spend a lot of time fighting them. And it's true that there are many drugs that have side effects and adverse effects that are concerning to us. But at the end of the day, like, we need drugs to treat many diseases, many of which we still don't have cures for. And I think in the process of going through and approving drugs, yeah, they get it wrong. They can get it wrong. And, you know, if 1 in 5 of the drugs between 1995 and 2010, you know, there was one study that said perhaps, you know, we get it wrong with 20% of those drugs. And obviously we need to do better. There's been several medicines that are high profile that were approved and then recalled from the market at a later time. Much like, you know, car companies release cars and then there's recalls 2 years ago. Sometimes those recalls are serious.
Exactly. Who wants to take a vaccine and then it gets recalled?
We can't throw the baby out. We can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That is to say, there are many drugs that are approved that do magnificent and wonderful things and change patients' lives, and have great data that is rigorous and robust, and studies that are designed really well that end up helping patients out in major ways. And it just so happens that, like, the way these trials were designed for these 2 vaccines approved in the US were done extremely rigorously, and even the number of people enrolled in these trials was much larger than the typical clinical trial for a vaccine. So I mean, there's many different signals and indicators that you can look at to see if something was, you know, approved for political reasons or with a push from you know, nefarious actors or a drug lobby. It just so happens that for this COVID vaccine, like, that wasn't the case, and there's many indicators that tell us that. But, you know, I think you bring up a good point, is that we have to, you know, think about the drug industry at large, and I think many people here have complaints about their undue influence in government and so on and so forth.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I really don't like to interrupt you, but I just want to say,
go ahead.
You're talking specifically about Pfizer, who is known for fraudulent behavior and who has been dinged on countless occasions. Wow. So I'm just kind of confused as to how we're not looking at this with the microscope.
Sure, but just to throw your own logic back at you, is that, like, yes, Pfizer's done pretty shitty things. Many pharma companies have. I'll be the first to admit that, and I spend a lot of my time as a doctor fighting these pharma companies on some of their shitty price gouging practices, and I can give you a history of that practice. At the same time, Pfizer makes the Viagra that many men take to get it up every time they want to have sex, right? So they seem to have no issues taking it then. It makes a atorvastatin, a Lipitor, that people take for their cholesterol every day, right? So I mean, 2 things can be true at the same time. Pharma companies can do really shitty things, but also make life-saving medicines at the same time. So I think just having that nuanced understanding of how the drug industry works and how drugs work, I think, is important. So I don't think it's contradictory at all what I'm saying.
I don't know that I can rock with that, because basically what he's saying is, I guess, like somebody else said, don't throw the baby away with the bathwater. Basically saying, yeah, they've done some shitty things, but, you know, as a pharmaceutical company, do shitty things, you're hurting people. So to say that they're doing shitty things, but they can still do this and be good. Like, how do we, like she said, how do you trust that? There has to be some integrity with regard to these people we're relying on for this type of you know, treatment. It's important.
Exactly.
And are the outcomes the right outcomes that we care about for our patients? Because ultimately, you're absolutely right that when we prescribe something, you know, that's our responsibility to make sure that we're prescribing something safely and that it's going to help our patients. So, you know, I don't get like any money from anybody. And in fact, to this other question earlier, what I've done the last year is I travel to help care for COVID patients in hotspots, but I'm not then employed by any of those hospitals or any other company in the interim. So like right now, I'm technically unemployed. So I'm here volunteering. Nobody cares what I'm saying to you all about the vaccine because nobody's paying me for anything. And I'm here because I want what's best for everyone, because I've taken care of too many people who are dying, and I really just don't want to do that anymore. Like, I don't want anybody else to die. And so anyway, point is, I'm not getting paid by anybody to say anything in particular about the vaccine or any other medication. And I just, like I think every other doctor on this stage, look at the evidence for any medication before I prescribe it to my patients. And I only do that if I think it's the right thing and it's going to help them.
And can we be clear? This is Rochelle at the bottom. I just want to make sure, like, MJ, I'm not sure. I can't remember if you live in New York or Canada. I can't remember. But you're in Canada, right?
You got it, Mama.
Okay. So I just want to see, like, are they giving out the vaccine differently in Canada? Because I doubt that the United States is kind of deciding how they're giving it out there. And I'm sure probably in Canada, they probably are doing a better job. But, like, what are you hearing in Canada compared to what's happening here in the United States?
I mean, we're hearing the same thing. There's literally no difference. I think globally, even internationally, we're hearing the same thing. My mom took the vaccine, but she got really, really ill from it. So, I mean, I don't know. That makes me nervous. So I'm just trying to understand the logistics behind all of this and trying to make sense as to whether or not I should take it. But, I'm really uneasy with the information that I'm reading.
Right. In Canada, I am, like, it's a state hierarchy of, like, people who get it first. And I've been seeing on CBC 3 days ago, and I quote, new variants have now been detected in all 10 provinces.
Mm-hmm.
Since it's predicted that the current vaccines will not be as effective, I want to hear from the doctors. Would you suggest that the youth with no comorbidities take the current vaccine, or wait until a vaccine that is more effective against the variant is available? And I'm Golden with the green background. I'm done speaking.
Is it okay before they answer? I just want to quickly mention for Canada, each province has its own regulation, but we do get both Pfizer and I believe also Moderna, but we don't necessarily have any results or any data after people have taken it because it's still on the rollout. So we don't have any data to back up anything that's, like a side effect per se, because we're still in the rollout. So we're still in early stages to determine anything.
Too early to tell. It's too early to tell.
Sorry, I'm at the bottom.
This is Dr. Vinny. I just wanted to say the goal is to get everybody vaccinated as fast as possible. We, of course, have supply issues, but in response to the issues around variants, the reason the mutations are arising is because of uncontrolled spread, which is allowing the variants to survive and keep spreading. And so I would encourage everybody to get the vaccine as soon as they are eligible and they're called. We don't yet know what variants are going to come down the line, but there is discussions of potential boosters if needed, and that's why more studies will be done. But so far, at least for the B117 variant that's been circulating, the initial vaccine effectiveness data is looking good. And so I still would encourage everybody not to wait, but to get the vaccine when they are eligible.
All right, real quick, can I just ask Dr. Vinny? So, because I think this is really, really important. Sorry, rundown. So, Dr. Vinny and any other doctor, you mentioned that it's important to get the vaccine. You said you encourage people to get vaccinated as fast as possible. Why is that? Why are you encouraging people to get vaccinated as fast as possible?
That's what I wanted to know.
I'm just asking this question because I think it's important that there's a good answer to this.
Yeah, no, thank you. The goal of getting vaccinated is not just to protect yourself, it's that everybody can get vaccinated so we can build herd immunity so that we can drop the transmission of the virus. And so you really need everybody to opt in to get the vaccine so that because there are some people who will not be able to get the vaccine for a variety of reasons. And we need to be able to protect those people and protect transmission. And that's why everybody's really talking about an all-in, like how can we get all in? And we don't want to leave young people behind, for example, because that we worry that that's where transmission could occur and then it will just keep perpetuating. And so we're really trying to get to that herd immunity and drop the virus transmission.
I think the minimum age for both the vaccines, one of them I think is 16 years and the other is 18. I don't know that the vaccine is available for children. I remember reading on that, unless anyone in the chat knows anything different. So I don't know what that is. Kim might know.
To be honest, she was coughing and, I was like, hey, I made a joke like, hey, you got COVID, bro? And then she explained to me that she just had got the vaccine and these were some of the symptoms. And I'm not 100% sure of how things work, but I did hear today during this conversation that the vaccine doesn't prevent COVID being transmuted or it doesn't prevent her giving COVID to me just because she has the vaccine. So my question would be and also I wanted to ask, because this is something that I kind of think that is sure, but I just wanted to know if it's accurate or not, that there is a part of the COVID virus in the vaccine that helps your body be somewhat immune or fight the virus. So there is a part of the COVID virus in the vaccine. So isn't that wouldn't that be kind of like an issue? Like if a person that never had COVID, if I'm sitting literally in front of her face and she just got the COVID vaccine and she's showing symptoms of, wouldn't that be I was very afraid and I just didn't show up at all. I decided, do something else and get someone else to.
I mean, a lot of people have the same question.
In the room full of doctors is something that I would like to ask if you guys can help clarify any of my questions.
I would have said concerns, but yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dr. Deborah, go ahead.
This is Dr. Deborah. I'm board certified in family medicine. So the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine has the mRNA technology. It does not have a killed or live form of the vaccine. I think is that what you were asking?
I'm not.
So there's no live COVID in the vaccine, is what she's saying.
At all.
Deborah, I think she was just asking, she had concerns that her friend had symptoms after getting the coronavirus vaccine. And her concern was, could she get coronavirus from that person after they got the coronavirus vaccine from the vaccine itself? And I think Dr. Deborah was pointing out that no, that would not be possible. But I do think it was.
But you guys said earlier that it was possible that even though you have the vaccine, you can still give COVID.
Yeah,
right. Let me.
Yeah,
right, let me continue to clarify. So what I was going to say is that when you went to that hair appointment, I think it was very wise of you not to go. And the reason being is just because she got the vaccine that day doesn't mean that she could not still have contracted the virus prior to the vaccine. Especially if that was her first dose, she could still contract the virus from that. So she could have had she could have gotten COVID, and I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, she could have been infected with the virus a couple days before, and then she didn't start showing symptoms, so she went ahead and got the vaccine, and then she had her appointment with you, and then she started showing symptoms. So I think it was smart of you not to go to that appointment, not knowing for sure if she had the coronavirus, if she got coronavirus prior to the vaccine or not.
No, but she was telling me that she was perfectly healthy prior to, and that she works in the hospital, that it was her. She just wanted to get the vaccine, and this basically, long story short, was the side effects of the vaccine. And I was just like, whoa, I don't know what's going on, but I've been quarantining and I'm not showing up. Thank you. But but,
right. Again, I think that's super wise of you to do. But again, it would be very hard to know if it was 100% those side effects were from the vaccine itself, or if she might have got a virus prior to the vaccine. Now, if she did not get anything prior to the vaccine does, depending on which vaccine she has, it can have side effects, and those side effects would not give you coronavirus from side effects from the vaccine. But if she did get the virus prior to getting the vaccine, she could transmit the.
Got it.
Guys, 1 second. I just want to reset. Welcome back, Dr. Hazani, if you're there.
All right. Well, I'm going to pause it here. We're already going on an hour on this. I didn't even realize that. It's interesting. I suggest, Clubhouse is a good app. You just download that app. If you guys are interested, if anyone's interested in joining, I can send you the invite. You will need to be invited by somebody, but I can send it to you. Just email me and you just download the app and join in, baby. There's a lot of different rooms. Like this lucid dream room might be interesting. We might pop in there too. But in the meantime, I wanted to just talk a little bit about what's going on in Texas. Donna, I don't know if this is something you can chime in on. I can put a link in here. You don't have to show your face. I know it's sometimes people get a little, nervous about joining in, but I've been looking at videos and listening to like live YouTubers as well as Clubhouse. There's been a couple of rooms about Texas and people who were on the ground, who were giving like definitely firsthand information about what was going on. Donna said that you're interested in joining the live or Clubhouse. Ms. Della said that was good. You guys, honestly, you would enjoy Clubhouse. It's more highbrow, intellectual talk. I know you guys are all smart people. I've joined plenty of rooms and learned so much. I've had like 3 or 4 pages of notes of different books and movies to watch for my interests. So you can pretty much find, I think, whatever you have interest in. And like I said, it's live. So whatever you're going to be joining, it's going to be a live discussion. And you will have an opportunity to join if you want to be a speaker, but it's like a podcast. So it's not like YouTube where you're more on I don't know. It just seems like it's a more undercover thing, but
okay.
I think it's pretty cool. Let's see. So yeah, I do need new followers. So at Goddess Dawn, let me type that in here. If you guys want to go on Clubhouse, I'll send you a link to join. You got to email me though. Or if you have my number, you can text me and let me know. And then once you do that, just follow me back. Or if you're already on Clubhouse, follow me at Goddess Dawn.
I'm gonna write it down.
Yes, they only have it for iPhones right now.
Yeah.
But they say the Android feature is coming soon. I think next month. Yeah. So from what I understand though about Texas, so I don't know when this storm actually started. Can anybody tell us? Donna, when did this storm actually like kick off? And I'm only asking because of the planetary alignments that are going on. And I know that one of the alignments that happened on the 17th of February, which was just 3 days ago, promises us some earth-shattering events. So I'm wondering if this is tied into that, because even though it may have happened sooner than 2/17, typically with astrology, you're looking at like 2 weeks prior to an alignment and 2 weeks after the alignment ends, where you're still feeling the energy and still taking effect.
Yeah.
So Donna, I talked to Cobb, and he let me know that he's doing better, but I sent a donation. I'm trying to help y'all out now. He's like, I need water. So I'm praying for y'all. I know that Biden declared Texas a major disaster, and there's been no food, no water, no power for a lot of people, or very scarce amounts of resources. Okay, Sunday. Well, Sunday's date.
14th, my birthday.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this could be part of that alignment, which happened the 17th, but it was already in motion. And like I said, it doesn't have to be on the day. If it's within a 2-week period, yeah. Because this is pretty earth-shattering. Like this type of storm, they say, hasn't happened in Texas, in Houston, or in Texas, I guess, since the 1600s.
Yeah.
And we're in the middle or toward the end of February. We're supposed to be heading into spring. So for something like this to happen,
Vegas still, it's like we used to be in the 70s around my birthday, and it's only been getting up to 50. Okay, we had a few warm days over a week ago in the low 70s, but like today was 58 or something like that, 59. So, and it's windy right now, and it's cold. So that's abnormal too.
Same here. It's really windy again.
Yeah.
I think last time I went live, it was super windy too.
So what's your Clubhouse name?
God is Dawn.
Oh, just God is Dawn. Okay.
All one word. Yes. Power bills will be going up too. Donna. Oh, speaking of that, Donna. So I was listening to, I don't know how many of you all on YouTube are familiar with the YouTuber MREC, the letter MRECK, I think. Might be a W in there.
Yes, it does.
She said 120 years ago. Okay, my information was different, but I'll put it up here. JC said it started the week of the 12th.
Okay.
So, what was I saying?
MREC.
Yeah, so on MREC's channel, they did a discussion live on Texas, and a lot of people called in from Texas to talk about what they're experiencing. I know some of the stuff that I learned from listening to that is that, people said they were getting notices. I don't even, and I was questioning, well, how are you getting notices? Because I didn't know that the mail was running, or like, it just seemed kind of odd to me. But they said they're getting these high bills of like $9,000, $10,000, $15,000. And nobody could really explain that. So I don't know, I know that they were saying how a lot of the shortages they have, aside from water and food, and then obviously the problems because the roads are messed up. So there's issues with getting resources in and, into where they need to go. And then also so they need pipes. So that they said those bronze pipes, I guess, that typically you see them in bundles at like Home Depot. But he said there's like lines just for the plumbing department at the Home Depots, and that there's not even enough plumbers to do the work. So I know a lot of celebrities are chipping in, like LeBron James. I heard his name get thrown around to help with the resources and also getting extra labor out. I'm sure there's plumbers all over the nation who would be happy to help out if somebody could like get them over there. Maybe they can't afford to fly or whatever. I don't know. But they're saying that, because the way Texas, I don't know if it's specific to Houston, but they were saying that the pipes are typically underground only 2 feet. So the storm, a lot of them, the pipes busted because of the freezing cold, the ice.
Wow.
And a lot of states, every state is set up how the infrastructure is different. They say a lot of places, the pipes are buried a lot deeper. So it sounds like some of these planners and architects were thinking outside of the box, thinking about things that may happen that they're not really used to happening, and planning for those things. And that's what you have to do as some type of city planner. Like when you're doing stuff like that, you can't just think about what's going on right now. You have to think, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? And plan accordingly. I know that a lot of the governments don't consider global warming as an effect, but a lot of people are saying now that this is why this is happening, and these new weather systems are taking place. And there's other people who are bringing up HAARP, which is spelled HAARP, in case anybody's not familiar. Weather creating system where scientists live and create, these different weather systems. Welcome, Denisa. I hate to mispronounce your name. De Leon. We'll call you De Leon. Fellow Texan.
I find it strange that every time we have a crisis somewhere, someplace, some company or organizations, or whatever you want to call them, want to find a way to try to get money out of people. Like, I believe I believe they play purpose. Whoever's in charge of the power bills and company out there, they're trying to use it's something that's tragic in real life, and they're using it for money gain.
Yeah, that's also the talk, is that there's a lot of obviously you're going to look out for scams during this type of situation.
Yeah, they like taking it like, oh, this is an opportunity to get over to people. They like, what?
Yeah, because this is where a lot of people want to donate, so people are going to prey on that.
Yeah,
it's $1 for the king. Look, I put the StreamYard link in the chat in case anybody wants to come chime in on. I would love anybody in Texas to come let us know what's going on, boots on the ground, or like a firsthand experience. But basically, I'm just speaking from news and different things that I've seen and heard. Let's see. Donna said pipes are bursting. She said, "We'll see." Well, see, we got ice and it was freezing temps, 9 degrees. Wow. She asked if NASA sends something up. What are we talking about? We're talking about you, De Leon. We're talking about Texas. We're just talking about right now the effects of on the people, on people right now who are possibly, in some type of hurting situation, suffering of lacking resources, scarce on food and water. Okay, he said he just got his water back yesterday. Or she, I'm sorry, I can't see the picture.
I just got my water back yesterday. Okay. The water was off. Oh, wow.
The power crisis started February 10th, 11th, 13th, and 17th through 17. Yeah.
That's the lottery numbers.
Oh, that was hard to find, JC. Well, I appreciate you digging that information up.
Thank you.
Donna said when they do, it seems like the weather gets crazy.
Right.
Yeah, this reminds me of Katrina. It really does, which then does, because I even thought Katrina was a man-made event. I know that people will call me a conspiracy theorist. I know sometimes I do go there when it comes to some of this stuff, including the vaccine, but I am rooted in reality. It's just that a lot of my time is spent in the unseen world. And I know that there's people with plots and agendas in high places here on earth who want to enslave us. Basically, they want to have us be mindless bots. They want to be able to track us and trace us. And I mean, it's a reality. I don't like to dwell in it because I feel like, I don't want to manifest any of that into my life, but I do acknowledge it, Let's see. De Leon said, yes, but I've gone to some restaurants and they're saying their water isn't good. Yeah, that was the other thing that someone said in one of these rooms I was in on Clubhouse. They said they had gotten a notice that there are parasites in the water. So to be very cautious of the water. And they were saying that it's the water shortage. People need water not just for drinking, but for bathing, I guess for the toilet and things like that. People were using pool water. People were trying to stay warm in their cars and died of carbon monoxide poisoning. People have frozen in their homes because of lack of insulation. There's been so many just sad stories that I've heard. Let's see. JC said, no problem. Thank you. Della, I believe some still have to boil. Oh, okay. Yeah, you have to boil the water from what I understand, right? To clean it. Do I think I do. COVID, I believe it's real right now. It's killing people and all of that. Now, how it got here on the level that it is working and all, I do believe honestly that there was a hand in it. I don't think this is a natural evolution because COVID is not new. It's been around. It's on the back of the Lysol bottle in case y'all didn't see that on the news. It's been around, but it wasn't this problem.
Right.
And now they're saying there's new strains. So it could just have either it's taken a life of its own or they're still working on us. But I'm definitely one of those people who believes it wasn't just some natural evolution of this virus. Let's see. Donna's saying, did NASA send a ship up? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about any NASA trips, or I'm not sure, Donna, which one you're referring to. That was another topic I was going to bring up, but about the space trips, because the commercial flights are going to be more prevalent soon. Elon Musk is making sure that we are going to be populated on, I think they're going to Mars, right?
And that's their game plan.
De Leon said, well, I'm sure it's not going to be just the average ticket. Like, I'm sure it's going to cost a little pretty mint if you want to do something like that. I don't know if I would want to trust being one of the first ones taking a commercial flight to Mars. De Leon said, my water at the house does smell a little off. Not bad, just different. Yeah. So I was, listening to some of these people who were even helping others on the ground were saying that they're going to need a lot of people to help scoop out a lot of this stuff out of the houses because mold grows really fast. And once the weather changes back to normal, you're going to get back to like 70-degree weather or whatever. That mold and those houses are going to be really messed up even worse.
And black mold is the worst. It's dangerous.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. People cannot inhabit those homes. So I'm hoping people understand the dangers that this stuff causes. Yeah, JC said people freezing to death in their beds. Oh, it's just so sad. And they just weren't prepared. Now, where did this thing, and it just hit that state? I don't know. I know there's other states experiencing extreme cold, but I haven't heard anything about any effects like this. Donna said the electric company had power coming on and off. I also heard from a caller from a YouTube, that MREC show, that the cell phones were working fine until people started calling the government officials. They said as soon as people started calling the government officials, the lines seemed to be distorted and not working properly for quite some time. Let's see. Donna Hill, China brought COVID here. Yeah, that's what the word is. What they call it. Yeah, Trump. Oh, Trump. 45. JC said SARS virus are both COVID variant. I just saw another article about a new bird flu that was detected somewhere. I'm like, man, they just piling all these things on. The spaceships, NASA. Yes. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So whenever a spaceship goes up, the weather gets crazy. That's something I would need to look at.
They're messing around in places that they need to just, you ain't took care of what's going on down here.
Texas ignored the grid and didn't follow regulations. Now the entire state is one disaster after another.
Oh.
Texas is not meant to have winter. Wow.
Okay. I didn't think like that.
Next week, there's going to be in the, where'd that go? Wait. Oh, there we go. Next week, weather is going to be in the 60s. Okay. JC said Texas has their own. Oh, I read that one already. De Leon said, we never have temperatures like this, never have snow. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. So we weren't prepared for the weather like this, considering it's not normal. Okay, that I heard, but I didn't know you guys didn't get snow. I thought it just wasn't this bad. So I'm in LA. So I guess being in LA, if something like that were to happen, it would be like insane. I would definitely feel like this was some man-made event. Or you can look at it like global warming or global change, whatever that may be, is actually happening. You can't argue it.
Have they been cutting down a lot of trees out there in Texas? Because that affects. Yeah, that affects it too.
The weather was bad in 40 states, but Texas took a bad hit.
Okay. And they be messing with the ocean and stuff. You know, we don't know what they're doing all underwater.
JC said, I follow a cat rescue and a few of the pharaohs came in with abnormal lungs. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Also, the animals are really suffering, especially in Texas. And the pets, even household pets. It's so sad. Like, everybody's just.
I'm such an animal lover. I was about to cry.
You know, me too. I was like, oh, I don't want to see the pictures. And Stella said, Asian folks see restaurant being attacked in plain sight. Oh, yeah, that's another big thing right now, is to protect Asians, especially the elderly Asian people here in the States, because they're being attacked.
Wow.
Because of COVID. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. Donna said, the grid has caused the power bills to be in the thousands. That's crazy. They shouldn't allow. I know they're not going to think the people are going to be responsible for paying that.
Right. Like, come on now.
They need to include that in whatever COVID relief or disaster relief that they're going to have available. They said they had FEMA on site when I was listening. They also said that the FEMA people were not providing services unless people were vaccinated. So their first question they're asking is, have you been vaccinated yet? And if not, well, are you ready for it? So we can move on and get you this help you need. That right there is what I don't like.
Yeah, number stipulation on helping the people. You know what? That's just terrible.
Yeah, and they said that because of that, communities are coming together to help each other, so that they don't have to rely on the government, and just help to self-contain their neighborhoods and sustain their communities. Helping to feed each other and sharing different resources. So I don't know. That's the question: is it a political agenda?
I think there's a lot going on at the same time.
They say they have what they're calling warming stations, I guess, set up all over. And they said those warming stations have become vaccination sites also.
I bet.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just do feel like I mentioned that HARP, that HARP. Somebody was saying it's a live drill for HARP, just like they feel COVID is a live drill. Also, that it's going to be, something that's going to be bigger and hitting us harder in the future. These are things that I hear in very respectable forums, people. This isn't just crazy talk now. I know that people were asking where are the Black leaders with regard to speaking up for us. Back in the day, there was the Al Sharptons. I mean, I guess Al Sharpton's still around and Jesse Jackson and them, but I feel like they sold themselves out a long time ago.
Yeah, Jesse ain't no. I wouldn't dare. My cat can represent the culture better than him. But I know it's something going on, y'all. We have to pay attention wherever you are, wherever you live at. I know out here in Vegas, I hear the mixed narrative and false narrative on the news, but also go by what I see physically, like even in the stores. Now, when Biden got in office, allegedly, we did a small video. We talked about, that wasn't really small, but anyway, we talked about, they put out there on Vegas News on Fox 5, like all the numbers went down with the positive
Same here.
status of people tested positive for COVID, and also the percentage rate went up with people getting vaccinated. They were saying like the whole Nevada, the outcome was remarkable. Well, then Wednesday last week, y'all. This is how I know they know something's going on as far as the future and with the economy, is because all of a sudden they announced on Fox 5 again that people that did schedule all these schedules at these sites, that they're giving this vaccination because it's limited supply, they allegedly around the United States of America, no show, no calls. So now is majority of Las Vegas and Nevada citizens did not get the vaccination, but just told us that majority of us was vaccinated. But now they're saying that, because it has to be given at and it's a limited supply. So they sent the vaccinations to Albertsons, CVS, and Walgreens for the people that didn't show up for their appointment to get the vaccination. And they said now you could walk in and be first come, first serve, or get put on the waiting list. But this is how I know they know something. They're preparing us for something in the future. My landlord called me out of nowhere Wednesday morning about 10:38 exactly. Asked me could I be in the office at 1 o'clock. It was just urgency. They're trying to get all the tenants in. They got this new link and website. They got get everybody signed up and logged in and registered on. So you don't do money orders for your rent if you're renting anymore. That would be no longer. You're either going to pay by debt. You still got to get registered on this site. You got to get registered with a debit card. You pay your rent either with debit card or credit card or auto pay out of your bank account. And it says everything's going to be done online. It's a portal. When we do renew our lease, she told me when it's time for me to renew my lease in December of this year, we'll be doing FaceTime. And if I just need to physically see someone, I have to schedule it online, and they might be able to do it that way. Somebody come in the office. That's all preparation. There is something going on. They're voluntarily adding money to people. Well, I know out here I got it twice last year from energy assistant. It wasn't time for me to apply for it or recertify. Like my father, they paid his power bill 4 months up, like he didn't have to pay. They just put the money in the account, and it's been happening. Even if people never apply for food stamps, we all got food stamps. We got 3. It says it's already been electronically scheduled to get people stamps at least 3 times throughout the month for the next like 6 to 12 months. It's already been a lot of the welfare offices, Social Security office. There's nobody there. You got to do everything online. It's something. It's something, y'all. It's something.
So you're saying they're
preparing
setting
us
up
for something.
self-service type thing where you don't
Yeah,
have to.
and then they're already giving emails and the signs. Like all of a sudden now, I've noticed all of the stores, even the Dollar Trees, have overly stocked hand sanitizer, Lysol, and bleach and wipes, and toilet tissue, paper towel. But they also got the signs back out saying limited per person. Even in the grocery stores, they went up on the chicken and the ground beef and like fish, but then they'll say like limited in the cases of water, 1 or 2 cases per person. So we went back to that just recently too as well. It's something going on, and they know it, and it's about to happen. And I think they're preparing. They want us to be like enclosed in, and in our homes and stuff. And that could play on mental, your psychological mind, because we're human. You might want to hug somebody, talk to somebody physically, see your family members and stuff. I don't know what, but it's something we have to be ready, y'all. We have to stay ready and grounded, and definitely stay in prayer, because it makes me freak out nervous. I don't know if I need to get out there. It's been such bad weather the past few days. I'm thinking about asking my daddy if he can remember how to start a garden or something. I really do. I think I could do the basics: tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, and greens and stuff.
I
Something.
think it is important that we do get into a position of where we can self-sustain, where we can provide for ourselves without relying on anyone else or anything else. If you are able to garden, that is ideal. I mean,
If I can, because my backyard is bricked in. If I can, and I know, I think I could I could inherit the green thumb, because my dad, we always had a garden every year. But whoever and however I can, I would be trying to help. It's something. It's
but
just
at the same
something.
time, everybody's not able, unfortunately, because of the weather.
Right.
So it's just messed up, because I'm sure people in Texas who, I was looking at Tammy Roman on Instagram, I think, and she was showing her house. She was crying.
Yeah.
All that ice and water flooding through her house. And people were getting on her case, though, because they said that it was her second home, or she has a second home, and that she was in a trailer because she had a gig that night. And they were like, you in your work trailer crying. People don't have nothing else, and you are complaining. But my thing is, she's human too. If she's feeling that way, is what's wrong with her to, having to express how she feels, losing something she put a lot of work into. People are like, you don't have no insurance. I mean, insurance is one thing. Like, I know somebody who just got in a car accident, and they, that's the car is total, but it's like, well, you have to get a new car, or, that they don't understand that the insurance company is not going to just give you a new car. They're going to pay off the car, but you're going to have to that's a whole new situation you're going to have to deal with. So anyway, what was I going to say? So DeLeon is asked, when do y'all think COVID will be over? I was talking to somebody about this, and I was like, I guess I'll just be wearing a mask for until whenever. Because I don't know that I'll feel, because I know I'm not going to be doing the vaccine. I feel like I'm going to have to wear a mask. I
think a year or more.
I don't know if it's going to just go away like that.
Right. I think it might.
They're still learning about what the vaccine is even doing. And
Yeah.
even I was talking to somebody earlier too about it, saying they were like, yeah, the vaccine doesn't, you can still get it again. And all it does is really protect you from getting the symptoms to where you are or could die. And so it limits your symptoms basically, but you still get it. So it's not like it's just protecting you from getting it. That's the
It's
thing.
just, oh, you won't get it as dramatic and bad and aggressive.
Yeah. So then you have to wonder, okay, so are you really giving me a vaccine? Number one, because I think that's the main issue. There's been conspiracy talks and theories for years. I know for me, I've known since 2009, actually, to be specific, about the plot to chip humans in order to track them. There's also rumor or conspiracy about the DNA being changed because of it, meaning your whole human DNA is altered. There's a lot to it. So, a lot. Everything is in plain sight, though. I think that if you really look, I mean, everybody has their own belief system. And I think a lot of that has to do with just who you are. As with a lot of things we do in life, we make decisions based on our past experiences, right? Things we've learned, things we've heard and seen. Like everybody's has a different DNA makeup. Everybody has a different perspective based on, like I said, who they are.
Yep, that's
So
true.
I'm just looking at my notes because I had some more notes about things that people were calling in about. Yeah, but I think I mentioned about being aware of and beware of scams when
Yeah.
donating money and donating to different charities, because this is going to spawn a lot of people and organizations with their hands out.
Yeah.
You tired, Kim?
No, I was thinking
Um,
just, I was going
and
to, you said scam and people doing donations
oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
go ahead. You want to add something
Did
to
y'all
that?
see how I don't know if anybody's seen the video. I didn't open it up, but I did see the title on that Duke Farrow dude. He's a con artist teaming up with Phaedra off of Atlanta Housewives, saying that they're taking donations for Texas. I don't know if they're really helping anybody out in Texas or not. Not
Yeah.
100% credible either.
It gets bad in different situations like this, like such as what's going on in Texas. It's scary because not only are there predators out there as far as these charities and things like that, but there's also predators with regard to just straight up robbing,
Yeah, raping.
raping, killing. Like people, there's bad people out
Crime
there
rate
who
is going
wait
to go
for
up.
things. Yeah, they wait for these type of things so they could. The police are busy. City
Yep, they
workers are
can't get to
busy.
you fast. Yep, they
Yeah,
know it. Because even
exactly.
just regular wintertime in Detroit, the robbery and breaking and entering and crime rate goes up in the wintertime because they know.
Welcome, Choice Russ.
They said, okay.
We've gotten snow, but used to it melting the next day. It's horrible here. 3 days without electricity. Okay. So he's like, we've gotten some snow, but hard to find water. Wow. But you have power and you have access to internet. So I'm thinking, because I know that there were a lot of people on Clubhouse and in one of these rooms. I'm gonna look and see if that room is back up about Texas and the help. They were offering a lot of different information about the different resources that are available. I know there's different people coming. They're en route driving with trucks and trailers with a lot of different resources too. It's just a matter of being able to access the information. I know what I'll do is I can poke around and I can post something. If you just want to look at my description box, so you can follow me on my platforms. And I typically post stuff on my IG story, Twitter, and I would just say, and also my Instagram, my YouTube community page also. But I'll try to keep everybody informed because I know that information is fleeting. People might have resources for you 1 minute, but a lot of people are in need. So that stuff, moves very fast. So you kind of have to be on top of things. Just looking through this Clubhouse thing to see if there's anything. Let me actually search Texas, see if anything comes up. There's no conversations that I can find, but
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely got a I definitely got a lot of good information. I got some good information, like I said, off of YouTube too. So you can definitely just search probably for resources in your area. I'm sure if you haven't, sure you've done that already, but I'm just saying that because I know a lot of people catch this on the replay.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that, everybody who tunes in gets the same information. The Clubhouse, there was also a room earlier about pregnant women with COVID. It might have been on that same conversation with the doctors. But they were talking about pregnant women and how a lot of women with COVID have had preterm births or stillbirths. So they're saying that they haven't found evidence that the vaccine does the same thing. They don't feel it's as dangerous as actually having the disease with regard to being pregnant. But again, with everything, they're still figuring this out. They're still learning. So, if this is important to you, it's just a matter of staying on top of the news every day and doing research on your own, finding your own news, sources, because a lot of the great news sources aren't mainstream. You're not going to find them on your TV, on the regular channels, or, on the big channels on YouTube. You're going to find them with little people like me. So share the wisdom, share the links, let people know. God is done talked about this on her live. We got to work together to bring the awareness. I said I'll be calling the electric company Monday. JC said it's Trump's world in Texas. That was another thing that was going around about the fact that Texas was targeted for this man-made event because of Trump and the support that they gave Trump. Because that was where this happened. I have the picture still, I think, in Texas when the campaigning was going on. If y'all remember, they ran over the cars that were following the bus, or tried to run over, try to run the bus off the road, and the cars.
Remember the 4 boats out there somewhere in Texas? They stopped. Yeah.
Boats too.
Honey.
Exactly. So people were like, yeah, they're just targeting Texas, getting them back, Biden, because of that. That's like his petty way. And I don't think so. I mean, let Ceylon tell it. That's not even Biden anyway. So he's wearing a mask, right? That's really all I got as far as my notes. I don't know if y'all are, we've already an hour and a half in. And let me see. We might as well, let's see if they talk about anything interesting. This thing is still going on.
Or after we get the vaccine, I'm sure it comes with instructions, but are these signs or symptoms or anything else that we would consider an anomaly, or they're general to everybody, or are they specific to people after they get their vaccine? Because I'm sure, some people might react to it in a certain way, where some symptoms can last for a few hours to a couple of days, maybe a week. So what things should we look for, and what should we consider concerning and follow up?
For sure, I can answer this question. So some of them more for both the Pfizer and Moderna. They're associated with fatigue. You can have fever, chills. I've had coworkers with fevers as high as 102.5, so pretty high fevers that some people are able to get. Muscle aches, joint pain.
Yeah, that's what it said.
And so I think that if you have anything that sounds really, that feels very concerning to you, like weakness in your legs or
like just symptoms that won't go away for a while, I would just contact your doctor. But if it's anything that is very concerning to you, just reach out to your doctor and just ask them if that symptom is typical and what to expect and how to treat it, so forth.
Oh, one other thing. I was going to say that the concerning thing that you really need to look for would be things like developing a new rash, feeling swelling, especially swelling in your throat, difficulty breathing, because that might be a sign of some severe allergy. But usually after you get your vaccine, you'll be monitored, usually for 20 to 25 minutes for any early signs of anaphylaxis. But that you worry about something that's going wrong, like those would be signs to look for.
Yeah,
and then also, sorry. Okay. I was just gonna say some people got like swollen lymph nodes on the side that they got the injection, and some people don't talk about that as much, but that was something that I saw amongst my colleagues. So if you kind of notice that you might have like some tenderness or swelling like in the armpit or the side of the neck where you got the injection, it is just temporary, but that is something that some people experience after the vaccine.
Wait a minute, she said they got the injection in their neck.
No, I think she said the lymph nodes.
Lymph nodes? Oh, okay. Because I'm going to say, I'm definitely dead.
No shots in the neck. David Long said, I just came back from Vegas on Thursday. So you just hopping and bopping around all over the nation in the COVID? Or is that what's going on? Miss Della, who is Jessie? She said Jessie can barely walk. Did I miss something?
Oh.
Who's Jessie? We're sorry to hear that, whoever Jessie is. JC said, do you think people want a certain groups of people to get the vaccine or be afraid of it so there's more for them? Huh. That's interesting.
That's a great question.
That could be.
Yeah.
It could very well be. Florida vaccines to the rich. Wow. Not surprising. Everything's for sale here in America, baby.
It's all about that money, honey. That mighty dollar. Because let me tell y'all something. I worked in I worked in OBGYN, and even with training, when you they do, you touch on the billing and coding and everything, but when they go by your insurance, you'll see. When I had Blue Cross Blue Shield when I was pregnant with my daughter, I didn't have to wait in the waiting room. It was like I got VIP service. I was signed in, got taken to the bag. You want a bottle of water or whatever. You get all the utmost treatments. Then if you have other insurance that's not like, or if you're not cash pay, your wait time is long. It's probably, and it really does happen. It happens. And I've experienced that in Detroit and here in Vegas, and witnessing things, how they go by your insurance. If you have better insurance, you're going to all get the better treatment and also offer the better medication and stuff if you need it. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Miss Della has said like 10 minutes ago, calm down, Kim.
Yeah. So it's sad though, it's like that's what it's gonna come down to, and what is all the to me the backbone is, or it's about money or whatever. Something is crazy.
JC was reminding us that she said, I can't get that picture out of my head when a Trumper bought all the toilet paper in one shop to resell for profit. Yeah.
He had it in his garage, stuff spilling out.
Crazy. Donna said, makes me wonder what else Texas is not ready for. That is another good question. She said she heard 7 years COVID would be over. I mean, I could definitely ask. I could do a quick meditation and tap in, see what I get. How long? JC said, if you get it, you can still get it later. Yeah, I did hear that.
Did it stay dormant? It probably stayed dormant. You never really do get rid of it, maybe.
Yeah. Ms. Della said, seems like tragedy after tragedy is occurring. Donna said, how long does the vaccination last? Well, see, right now, what they were talking about on this app earlier is they were saying that they were allowing people with vaccines to not quarantine, at least for the first 3 months. when they travel. So he said that that's an indication that they're looking at a 3-month period where they know for sure you're safe with the vaccine. So I don't know that they know yet, how much further that it will, be working, because we're just brand new. People are getting chipped by choice for a long time. You can scan your chip to pay for stuff. It's popular in Europe. See, and that's the thing. The chipping, they are telling you, okay, yeah, you can just pay for stuff with it. It'll just make it easier. You can open your door. You can do this. But the underlying issue is that what else is it? Can we trust that that is all it is? And is it that serious to need a chip to do those things? Are we that lazy of a people where we need to have a chip to pay for this and just swipe that instead of just pulling out our money like normal? I don't know that it's something we should be inserting in our bodies.
Exactly.
JC said, I went to Europe in the 90s. They already paid bills electronically, and they had the chip. You could charge up your debit card. They were first at it. There seems like they're always ahead of stuff like that. Donna,
Yeah.
beware of the scammers. The $100 6-pack of TP on Amazon. Oh, that's what the person was had bought up. We just don't think right now that antibodies last in the body, so having it doesn't seem to give you lifetime of immunity. Maybe the vaccine will eventually do that. Yeah, it doesn't do it now. It's not lifetime, that's for sure. They don't have to chip us to find us. We all have internet, phone, and GPS. Most people do. Yes, that is true. Hey, Karen. Been listening. Got a pop-up on my phone that says it can determine COVID status. I didn't accept it. Did anyone else get that pop-up? What?
It will.
I didn't get that pop-up. I got a pop-up though. I got a text message actually on this phone, which is a newer number, that said it had a different person's name in the text. It was from Kaiser, and it said, "We have determined you're eligible for the vaccine. So basically, call this number and make your appointment." I was no, wrong number. Of course, I didn't respond. No, I haven't heard of that, Karen. I haven't seen that. I mean,
it's probably gonna pop up now.
JC said, if you pay with the chip, you can't lose it. It can't be stolen. JC, you always look on the other side of stuff, which I guess is a good point. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, people would say that more so for kids, I think, because kids are the ones who lose stuff all the time. I mean, I'm telling you, if I could have tattooed my son's jackets on him, like as many jackets as he left on the school bus when he was growing up, these jackets
so I can't save the people that go missing and stuff. Are they gonna be able to do that?
They should have been chipping. Exactly. Well, I don't know.
All these never found bodies and people and uncold case files.
Some cost more. They used the research for SARS to fast track the vaccine, but I'm betting they're still working on it. Yeah, they're still working on it. And SARS isn't COVID though, right? I mean, I know it's a similar, like it has similarities or something, but wow. Before we go, let's just see.
So we're now starting to do research on kids younger than those age groups. So I know at my institution we're starting to give vaccines to those younger groups, but I don't think the data will be out for a little while as to, safety efficacy. So it might take a bit of time before those younger age groups actually are able to receive the vaccine in like large groups across the United States. And anybody else can feel free to chime in if there's any more recent, data on, research on these younger age groups. In terms of teachers, I completely kind of agree with you in terms of, the risks of being a teacher, and especially with younger children. I have many family members that are teachers right now, and they're also expressing those similar concerns. I think, when you're at the high school level, at least those kids can pretty much wear masks and be okay. But as you get into middle school and elementary school, it's sometimes super hard for these kids to keep their masks on, and that kind of poses a situation that can be pretty dangerous in a school setting. But I think that, with the proper measures in terms of distancing, keeping the desks apart, keeping masks on to the best of the abilities of the teachers and the students, there is good data that says that potentially schools could reopen with the proper measures of safety. So those are just two of the measures: is distancing the desks, masks, obviously washing hands, and then testing for you guys, as you were explaining, is also very important to minimize further spread from classroom to classroom. I think that the topic, is ever changing based on, state by state level, and also, town by town level. Everyone's kind of coming up with their own guidelines. So one thing that I would like to see kind of from, state level is, are there, broader implementations that we can make and recommendations that we can make for schools to across the board try to make it safer? But obviously, like you were saying, like, it's hard in elementary school and middle school. So those are just some of my thoughts as a pediatric resident.
I was just going to add a couple of things to that, Annie. I'm Tommy up near the top. First of all, I just want to thank you so much for your job as a teacher. I think teachers, they're on the front line.
Shout out to the teachers.
Doctors are. You guys are.
For real.
So I just thank you so much for that.
It's an interesting topic as far as the kids go, because like I had said earlier, I guess what she said is they're working on the younger vaccine for the younger groups. But right now, I think the research you did, Kim, wasn't it 16 years old, the youngest for one of those vaccines? Yeah. The other one was 8.
Yeah, Moderna was 18 and up, and Pfizer was 16 and up. And then
So for them to not have a vaccine in place for the children and then still want to open schools, because I know here in California, the school, from what I understand, they're not open yet, but they're discussing allowing the younger elementary age children to go back. And that's just confusing to me. I never heard anybody say kids can't get it.
Yeah.
Or don't get it. The kids are still getting COVID too, right? So I don't understand why they weren't included in the vaccine. I guess because it's brand new.
From my brother and my sister-in-law, and she's 13. She's so
Really?
Yeah. My youngest brother and the
she
mother.
Just had to thug it out. She had to thug it out without any. They're not vaccinating. Yeah.
And the mother is still breastfeeding from the baby she just had in October. So.
Oh, wow, that's a tough position to be in with the babies. I can't even imagine. Already scary enough being a new mother. Even if you have other kids, still having a new baby, there's a lot of cautionary things you got to be worried about. A lot of stress comes with it. You have to be able to manage the stress, not to affect the baby. Trump tried to push the theory that kids were immune. I remember that. He wanted to infect people fast to get herd immunity faster. And that's what I'm thinking. They're using the kids for the herd immunity, because they were doing that in New York. They had announced they were going to release a certain district of school age kids to let them go back to school. And I just wonder, why them?
Right.
When adults are still quarantining, people are still working from home for the most part. I don't know. I just don't get it. It's really weird.
Yep,
but
I agree.
Yeah, it's just, again, prayers up for Texas, for Houston. I guess it's not just Houston, but they said that another person had said the interstate, I guess around the hotels and all that stuff, were lit up in certain places in like Dallas, but then the brown and black communities were the ones targeted the most when it came to the storm. So that's why people are scratching their heads about how is this possible that it's only targeting certain areas, and the power, y'all are only shutting the power off in the black and brown communities. JC said not just kids, the Bible Belt, the gun rights, and the anti-vaxxers. Yeah. He was culling the weak. Yeah. Only the strongest survive. That's what the whole thing is. And that's why when they say go on out, it's good. I mean, it's more so just washing out, the weak versus the strong-minded too.
Yeah, it is.
You're just gonna fall for that fast because you that desperate to go outside. You're just gonna go mingle and just act like there's no virus still lingering in the air. These particles are still living and getting spread. People are dying. So you guys, please continue to be safe and distance and wear masks and wash your hands and drink your hot liquids and all the stuff that you know is right to do. Your vitamin C. Of course, stay in prayer, stay in and meditate also, and just be loving and kind and just be right. God, just be right. I think I'm gonna end it here. Do you have anything to say, Kim, before we say
No, I
goodbye?
just appreciate everyone that hung out with us tonight and appreciate your time and thank you and sending
Same
love
here.
and light to
Thank you,
everybody.
Jason, for being so engaged, and Della and everybody else, Karen for popping in, Donna, of course. Oh, I missed Lyles. I'm in Houston. And Trey the Truth is the only celebrity I see put any money that's donated back into the community.
Okay.
Trey the Truth. Okay, shout out to Trey the Truth. Yeah. I heard some names. Yeah, I heard names getting dropped, but I hadn't heard of Trey the Truth. I don't even know if I guess Trey the Truth must be a local celebrity. But Donna said a lot of the grocery stores are out. Yes, there are some resources out here giving supplies. Sharing is caring. I missed all these comments. The Trumpers are running the government in Texas. Oh, okay. So that's what the issue is said to be, why they were targeted. Greed is what caused the power grid to fail. Okay, see, I had caught this one. Keep your eyes open, everyone. That's right, Donna. JC said what he said. Miss Della said. So, Miss Della, you still looking for Jesse Jackson? I don't know that we checking for Jesse Jackson. I don't know, Della. JC, I think they are pushing fear. They want it for the rich and entitled, like the governor in Florida chose the 2 richest zip codes to get the vaccines. Wow. And isn't the governor in Florida the one who they caught in the airport going to Cancun the other day? He was not Florida, Texas. That's what I meant. The Texas, the guy who's supposed to be there with his people, him and his wife in the airport, get ready to ditch and go to Mexico. Crazy to me. I had a couple things I wanted to bring up, actually, if y'all are still here. I forgot all about them. Let me just go through here. I thought I went through these. Okay. And she said, have a good night. Okay. Oh, Cruz. Yeah, that's who it was, Karen. I have a couple of Do We Cares for the segment. Do We Care? Let me take this off the screen. Okay, Megan. So Megan, something was going on with this cover because she had to show. She was like, "Y'all not gonna do me like that. I'm gonna show how the one I want to show." But so do we care that April Jones says she was controlled into joining Love and Hip Hop with Omarion to shut down the gay rumors about him? I would say no. What about that? Rihanna is now the first Black woman in history to ever own a cosmetics company brand worth over $1 million. Yes. Shout out to this queen.
I like that. Go, Rihanna. I like Rihanna.
Yeah, me too. Do we care that Gorilla Glue sales skyrocketed after Tessica Brown's hair saga? That sales spiked up nearly 130%, and computer searches went up nearly 5,000%. Wow.
I knew that was going to happen.
The amazing things Black women can pull off.
Right.
People should go to that company. I don't know if y'all remember me showing y'all a video of this was the last live. Megan was at the studio, was in the bathroom, and Party, the songwriter, Cardi B songwriter, barged in, banged on the door, and then barged in when she was in there with her and her girls. Well, anyway, she came online after the fact to cool about him. That's my boo. I didn't like how y'all was doing him. He's a nice person. He looks out for me. Well, in the same breath, it looked like he was giving her a chokehold, and she was like, "Get off me." So I don't know. Megan
is that red makeup, or is she turning red, or
up, and she's in a chokehold. So and he's kissing her at the same time, telling her how he likes her makeup. Her makeup is what do you call it? It's flavors, I think he said, or something like that.
We don't know what he was saying.
I think the Shade Room posted this. People were commenting they don't like this, and she needs to get out of this toxic stuff she always finds herself in. I said that on the live myself, and I agree. But I just wanted to point this out. Yeah.
It's obvious he got jealousy, and that's all like controlling and abuse. She can't go to the bathroom because you're insecure and stuff. You got, oh, you're in there too long. There must be something going on. That's how they think. That's how abusers think.
Mm-hmm. With you on the phone with somebody, you texting somebody, what you doing?
Right. She can't go use the bathroom. Like, gee whiz.
Mm-hmm.
That's an insecure, abusive, controlling person.
Oh, Megan.
Yeah.
Della said, we don't. She's like, we don't care about none of that. Senator. Oh, it was a senator. Cruz is a senator. Okay. She called him a piece of shit. Rafael Cruz, his real name. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all, and we will be back tomorrow, actually, for Shot of Love, 10:40 a.m. Pacific. It's already scheduled. You go hit the reminder on that, and then of course, and then I think back next Wednesday for another live. And in the meantime, I may throw up a video or two. So stay tuned. Join the video if you haven't. Get some perks. I'm going to be posting some things just for members, maybe a reading or two. But I love y'all. Thank you, Miss Kim, as always. Also love you, boo. All right, y'all. Till next time. Peace.
Thank you.